Okay, looks like something's going at least. So we should start to see that, and then I just have to check audio, and we should be all ready to go. Something's going at least. Alright, we have audio. Hey guys, welcome back to part 4 of the Bukkit coding plugin stuff. I've got my 3D printer running in the background. You may be able to see it on the web camera. Actually, yes you can. It is right there. So that is currently printing out a fox right there. So we should see that. Sorry for the trippiness. I mean, you probably won't see all of it because clearly print time is 3 hours, so we'll see. Maybe I'll show it off a little later. Oh man, I got a lot of stuff open. So let's get started here, back in crew chat. So what did we do yesterday, or last time? We looked at loading our channels, and I think that right now what I'd like to learn how to do is figure out how to reload our configuration. And what that means is that when you reload a plugin, it almost like internally restarts. And the benefit to that is that you reload changes to the configuration files that you've made while it's running, and that's incredibly useful. So we're going to basically do a reload command that does essentially the same stuff that that we normally look at here, except that we're just going to be reloading the or actually maybe we are going to reload both. Yeah, we'll reload both files, just in case the user decides to edit the player data manually. So let's get started with that. I don't have any clue really how that's going to work, besides just kind of loading them like this in the same manner, and running through this again. So we need a command. I haven't done a command in a while. Let's take a look at Skip Night for an example of how a command works. So this is the main class here. We already have our on enable. What did I just do? Guess nothing. But down here, this on command is what happens when you run a command. And I am not completely sure I'm not completely sure how to interpret this. So with just this one command here, it's very simple to have this all in the one thing here, but I have seen some plugins that separate out commands into their own separate things. So here's the on command for this. It's quite large. Why don't we check out the on command for player activities? So I'm actually going to close sleep here and just open player activity in this window, and we'll take a look at the commands here. So this is a command executor. So I'm interested to see where is that coming from, and as to whether or not command executor is a Bukkit thing, so it's not actually coming from his stuff here, or his other classes. So we can use the command executor here. So interestingly, he does have an on command here. So oh wait, this isn't the main class. Let's look at the main class, see if there's anything special. In the on enable, there is an on command. Send. Interesting. Set executor. So get command is not a thing. This dot get command, maybe it is. Is there some weird method that's doing that? This whole plugin is extremely over my head in some senses, so I just think it would be useful to separate out our commands instead of having them all in one specific thing. So these are command executors, so let's look up this. Organizing commands in command executor. I've just recently started to develop plugins and very early ran into a problem with switch statements and commands. After a little bit of research, I found out that Java 1.6 does not support the usage of strings in switch statements, so I was thinking about using a hash map to register all available commands, give them a unique number, and pass said number to the switch statement and continue from there. Is this a good way to go about it, or is there a better way? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we can use that in this same manner. So let's try that. Let's skip night. Here we are. So let's create a new package or sub-package here called commands, and then within the commands we're going to add a Java class called something. Before I make it, let's come up with a command. So crew chat then crew chat commands usage, and for now we'll just do crew chat reload, like that. So commands new Java class reload, and that's going to implement command executor. Implements command executor from Bukkit, like that. Alt enter will give us, ooh, did I just do something? No. We can import the on command method like that. And within there, we can do what we normally do with a command. So normally I believe you return true. I don't know why we're returning a variable, but it has something to do with something, so we'll continue to do that. And in the on command, then we need to do if command sender instance of, isn't there an instance of? Yes, it's just instance of player. And then we'll have private boolean console. So if command sender is an instance of a player, then console equals false. Like that. So that way, what we can do is kind of shape our command around whether or not it was a player. So to reload the configuration, we need to do, we first need to get our configuration manager, and to do that, we have this get config manager here. And I also just want to take a look here. There isn't a reload configs. Oh, there is. Reload all configs. Oh, perfect. So we'll just use that. So this is, where did it go? Reload. So we're just going to do I don't know. What do we want to do here? We want to do, we need a command sender, or not a command sender, a config manager. Config manager, config manager. Equals do we want to get the configuration manager at the time of reloading, or should it be done when it's registered? I guess do it when it's registered because it won't change. So config manager equals crew chat dot get instance dot get configuration manager, like that. And then in here we can do config manager dot reload all configs, and then I guess this is almost useless because it's such a small plugin that I'm not even going to include it. So we'll get rid of this and cut this, move it down to here. I don't know why that moved the return statement. Why? What? That's not supposed to... Why is this? There we go. So, if the command sender is an instance of player, we're going to do command sender dot send message. Do we want to do chat colors? Crew chat, I guess I kind of envisioned it with like the yellow color, so let me just should really like pin this somewhere. I use the Minecraft color chart so often. Unless we want it to be green, I was thinking maybe use and6, like that yellow color. So it's not that bright of a yellow. Or we could use green. We could use number 2. I don't know. I guess we'll use green. So we'll do chat color dot what do I normally do? Is it white? Let's look back at skip night here. Skip night has and 7, which is gray. So chat color dot gray plus that, nope, that, and then why did that, whoops, plus, no, why is that not keeping it all the way over here? Oh, chat color, let's just add our curly braces, chat color dot gray, and then plus that, whatever, plus chat color dot dark green plus crew chat plus chat color dot gray plus this space plus chat color dot white plus configuration reloaded, like that. And then otherwise, do I normally do my else down here, or do I normally, I guess I do it on the, where's an else statement? It's always important to be consistent. Well, that one's on the next line. Then that one's not. I guess we'll put it on a new line. Or I guess we don't need the braces for this. Else, crew chat dot get instance dot get logger dot info configuration loaded. And actually, this we want regardless, so we don't even have to put that in there. Why is there so much space here? There we go. So from there, we just need to implement that in our on enable, which is here. So register commands, and then interesting. Failed quite miserably as well. Ugh. One moment. I'll deal with that in a little while. Okay. So we do where so I would do private reload equals private reload like that, and then we would do reload equals new reload this. don't need that. Like that. So that should work. Let's see what happens. Ugh. Stretch for a sec. Tired, but it's only 11:30 in the morning. Spent a good hour and a half getting my car aligned. And we have an issue on line 50, which is right here. And the issue is a null pointer exception. Why? Why are we having a null pointer exception? Reload equals new reload. It's literally right above it. Oh, unless this I see what I did wrong. We should have crew chat like that. No. Keep reload and do reload up here. Interesting. So do So private, let's rename this to crew chat command. And then back in here, we need to do if strings, is 0 going to be the argument? String 0 equals reload, or equals, or dot equals ignore case reload, then do all of this like that. Delete, 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 like that. And then we'll restart it and see what it does. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. Okay. So now, if I do crew chat reload, it says it has done something. Of course, we can't really check, but it seems to be working, which is good. So if I were to use this, can I make this smaller, and go to my local host, the other thing that we should check for is that we're using a valid instance of the launcher, which of course we're not. So let's try again. So that's important. We should check to make sure that the we should check to make sure that it works in game. Okay, so let's go to multiplayer. You can minimize that, move that over a bit, go to localhost, and what should happen if I do the command right now is crew chat reload, and it works. From there, what we need to do is implement a permission. So we're gonna do a new one called crew chat dot speak crew chat dot reload description allows player to reload configuration, and then in here we need to separate this out more, because we need to, if the command sender is a player, we need to check for permissions. The console doesn't need a permission. So if they are a player, and oh well, then we need to do if player command sender dot has permission through chat dot reload does that have any implications? I guess not, because we already checked. Okay. Then we can do like this, and then move this into here. Otherwise, we do and then we also want this in here. Oops. Control C, Control V. Then we also need an else here. Command sender dot send message chat color dot red plus you do not have permission you do not have permission for this command. Sure. And that way we have everything set up now. The other thing that we need to do now is take a look in our test server's usual plugins here and add in permissions EX, because that is my current permissions plugin, and in order to utilize permissions like that we need to have this. Unless, do we also need Vault for that? Plugins usual, vaults, yeah. Oops, where am I? Don't think we need vault integration on here. Skip night, does that have vault integration? For some reason? We will probably need vault integration at some point. But right now I think we're fine. So let's stop this, start it again. Oh man. So that should work. Then we can do crew chat load. Okay, so that still works. And then in game, let's see what happens. Crew chat reload. I do not have permission. So if I do pex group mat add crew chat dot reload, and then I do crew chat reload, it works. Awesome. Now the other thing is there's no crew chat. How do we get the suggestions to work? I don't know. I thought maybe I need to do this. And then I also want to do alias, because I saw that in here and it looks cool. CC for crew chat. So let's try that. I have no idea if that's gonna work. CC reload. Okay, so that worked. So the alias is responsive. And then the other thing we need to look at is /cc. That is okay, so it still works, but how do we get usage set up correctly? Plugin.yml commands plugin YAML description command attributes. So we can have a permission, which we should, because permission oh, I see. Crew chat dot reload. Aliases usage. Okay. Displayed to whoever issued the command when the plugin's command handler does not return true. Command is a macro. To use the string usage, surround the text with double quotes. How do you get tab completion with commands? I don't know. But what we can do is permission message like that, Can I set a global permission message? Because that would be really nice. How do I do that? What happens if I just don't put a permission message? Also, okay, well, let's just focus on this. So that could simplify things in that I may now be able to have permissions for commands in the plugin.yml rather than implementing a check for every command. But we have to determine that. Hex group mat remove crew chat dot reload. And we do cc reload. Okay, I like that. That's perfect. So that means that in crew chat, or I'm sorry, in crew chat command, we don't need to do all of this, so we can just undo all of that special check stuff that we did. Do that. So let's see what happens. If I run the command wrong. Doesn't do anything. That. Well, that doesn't work. Interesting. Okay, anyway. So that is a command all set up. So we have a reload command. So it's now 11:58, so I'm gonna stop and eat lunch. But what I would like to do before I go is just reiterate what we've done this time. So we created our first command. We decided to go with a setup where commands are in their own sub-package to the main package here. And each command implements the command executor interface, I believe is what you would call that. From there, we have our onCommand method within there, which then goes in and interprets whether or not the user or the thing that the entity that sent the message was the console or a player. If it's a player, or I'm sorry, we then reload the configuration, and if it was a player, actually, one more thing that I want to test is, can the console still run that command? Because the console doesn't need permission for anything, does it? Yeah, okay, that's fine. So, if the player, or if it's a player, we send them a message in game, and regardless, we send a message to the console and return true. We added our command with a an alias, a description, a usage, and a permission within the plugin.yml, which simplifies permissions for commands because you can specify what permission the command requires within the plugin.yml rather than implementing a check into every single command. In addition to that, we registered our command here with these two statements here, as well as the initial statement there, and that sets up a new crew chat command object as an executor for the command crew chat. And that means that everything is set up in such a way that it all works for this command. So that's really awesome, and now that we have that framework set up for this command, we can copy it for our other commands for things like, where is it? For things like our other commands that we've laid out here. So all of that is coming in the future, but for now, I'm gonna go grab some lunch, so thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, you can subscribe, and I'll probably be making more of these throughout the week. I like to do them in these little, maybe hour or so installments, just so that it doesn't get too crazy. I know some of them do get to be well over an hour, but I like to keep them somewhat reasonable so that if you are watching them in succession and you have to scrub through things to find parts that you want, it's not too intolerable. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.